Well, welcome back, students. Now, this is the second video on the epithelium. As I said that most of the time the short notes from the epithelium, they are either asked from for transitional epithelium or that of the pseudostratified epithelium. So, let us come to the pseudostratified epithelium. What is pseudostratified? Pseudo means false, okay? Pseudo means false, where the stratification or multiple layer of the cells, because in stratified epithelium, cells are arranged in multiple layer, one upon the other. That is called as stratified. But this is the epithelium where it is not truly arranged in the many layers. Cells are not. They are arranged in one single layer, but it appears as if they are arranged in multiple layers. So sometimes the students are confused with that of the stratified epithelium. Why there is a confusion and why it is said to be pseudo-stratified? The reason is that, again, which I have told you in the introductory classes on to the histology, I had told you last week that there is we are unable to see the boundary of a cell in the light microscope because the cell membrane is in the nanometer, which cannot be visualized with the help of the with the help of the light microscope. You need an electron microscope to see the cell boundary. Hence, what you see is the mass of the cytoplasm and in which the nuclei are hanging, okay? And you have to imagine the cell membrane based on the shape and the size of the nucleus, okay? Nucleus, okay? So, let us come to the pseudo-stratified epithelium. And for the pseudo-stratified epithelium, let us see what is the, sites where it is found, location. Let first we just talk of the location of the pseudo-stratified. Now, if you see the location of the pseudo-stratified epithelium, this may be in the ducts of the gland, okay? Ducts of exocrine glands, ducts of which are secreting the secretions. It may be in the ducts of the exocrine gland. Then this pseudostratified epithelium is also located in case of the auditory tube. It is in the auditory tube. It is also located. It is also located in the male urethra. Okay, a long male urethra is quite long. Okay, penile urethra, so it is in penile urethra or the male urethra. These are the locations where this epithelium is non-ciliated. That means there is no cilia from its free surface, ciliated. It is non-ciliated. But then there is a location of this pseudostratified epithelium beside this non-ciliated part of the epithelium. Second location is in the respiratory tract. In the respiratory tract. And this is from that of the trachea, bronchus, and bronchioles. Okay. I will at this stage, I will tell you that bronchus are the more wider tube which carry the oxygen in the lung. Bronchioles are very minute, which you cannot see by the naked eye. Okay, they are very small, okay, very small. So, there are the trachea, bronchus and bronchioles, which are the tubular structures which are carrying the oxygen or the air from the lung, okay, to the lung or from the lung outside. So this tubular structure of respiratory tract, they are lined by the pseudostratified epithelium, which is ciliated. So these are ciliated epithelium. What does it mean, ciliated epithelium? It means that from the apical surface of the cells, there comes out the cilia. and these cilia, they keep on beating and they are helpful in the removal of the mucus secretion there. So after the location of the pseudostratified epithelium, let us come to see the structure of this pseudostratified epithelium and why it is called as pseudostratified, though it is not. So in the usual way, cells are attached to the basement membrane. All the cells of the pseudostratified epithelium, they are attached onto the base. Suppose it is a basement membrane and here are the cells. Now this epithelial cells here in the pseudos, they are mostly tall columnar, and in between there are some short cells, some tall cells, some globular cells, hexagonal type of cells, some are squeeze cells, some are narrow cells, some are the wide cell. So because this epithelium, but what you will note here that almost all the cells, they are attached onto the basement membrane. Okay, all these cells, they will be getting attached to the basement membrane, though their height is different. For example, this is a tall columnar cell, this is another columnar or tall cell, but here this cell is squeezed between the two cells. This is another columnar, this is another short cell, this is a larger cell but again reaching up to the surface. This is a small intermediate type of cell, neither tall nor short. This is the tall and again a small cell. So there are multiple type of the cells are there, but some are reaching to the basement, all are reaching to the basement membrane, but only some which are tall in nature, they are reaching to the topmost level. Okay, they are reaching to the top layer of this cell. So this is the epithelium. The first condition in which is that all the cells should be attached to the basement membrane. In case of the stratified epithelium, only the basal layer was attached to the basement membrane. The other cells, they were not attached. They were not attached. Okay, they were attached around among their neighboring cells with the desmosomes or other junctional complexes. Okay, other junctional complexes. Now, as I told you that some of this epithelium are ciliated and some of this epithelium is non-ciliated. This is a non-ciliated. Suppose if it is a respiratory tract epithelium, then this from the apical surface, the cilia will come out, which are hair-like structure. This tall hair-like structure will come out from the apical surface of those tall columnar cells which are reaching. So the name will be given to this epithelium will be the pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium. Pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium, because most of the cells, they are columnar in nature. They are and they are reaching to the top where cilia are attached. If suppose there is no cilia, say it is lining to the urethra, male urethra, to the duct of the gland, then you can say non-ciliated pseudostratified columnar epithelium it is. So which are the two various sites where this epithelium is found. Okay, pseudostratified ciliated or pseudostratified non-ciliated columnar epithelium. In case of the respiratory tract at any other place also, there can be another type of the cell found in between this epithelium and this cell, which is found in between this epithelium, okay, which at intervals, this is the vacuolated cells in the standing slide, and this it has a nucleus at the bottom here, flat nucleus at the bottom, and the rest of the cell looks empty. This is called as the goblet cell. Goblet, because its shape is like a wine glass. Okay, hence it is called as the goblet cell. So in between this epithelium cells are in ciliated columnar epithelium, which is pseudostratified. In between some cells may be the goblet cells also. Okay, goblet, which secretes the mucus, So this is the structure. Let us see the structure where there is a problem to identify whether it is true pseudo-stratified or it is stratified. Okay, as there was a question, okay, from some of subscriber yesterday, how to differentiate in that condition which is a pseudo-stratified and which is a truly stratified epithelium. In case of pseudo-stratified, which is real difficult to identify, you will have to see that this will be the epithelium which will not be much thicker because the tall columnar cell will be not much, okay. So the whole thickness of the epithelium where this the cytoplasm as a mass will be seen will not be much thicker. And here you should see that some of the nucleus will be tall, some of the nucleus will be round, okay, and some of the nucleus will be near the bottom, some of the nucleus will be close to the upper margin, okay, again the round nucleus, and in between there will be the goblet cell, okay, that means clear space will be seen here, okay, and if it is ciliated, which will be most often in the respiratory, okay, you will see the cilia very well. If you are seeing the cilia and the layer of the, nucleus, which are arranged and of different shape, okay, columnar to the globular to the rounded or to the oval, which are haphazardly arranged, which is giving an impression as if they are stratified. But if cilia is there, if goblet cell is there, then definitely it is pseudo-stratified, ciliated, columnar epithelium. Some problem may go where it is non-ciliated, where the goblet cells are there but they are less. Then, and if goblet cell is not seen, no cilia is seen in this kind of epithelium, your clue should go that this thickness of the epithelium should be less, okay, should be less, because suppose if it is a multiple or real pseudo-stratified, then the stratification will be much more, because it may be lined by this cell, multiple layer of cells which may go flat. As you go up, their shape may change, okay, their shape may change. Near the bottom it may be circular, rounded, but as you go, if it is stratified epithelium, the true stratification, there will be multiple layer of cells, nucleus, but here one or two, at the most three, okay, depending on their level of arrangement is there. Goblet cell, and if it is non-ciliated, then try to see what is the structure deep to the epithelium. If it is corresponding to a salivary gland or a gland, then yes, it cannot be stratified epithelium. It has to be, okay, pseudo-stratified. Though the large glands, they also become stratified, but they are terminal gland, a very large, okay, gland surrounded by the lot of connective tissue will be there. Yes, I know that this epithelium is really difficult to identify by a newly admitted student, but you have to learn with the help of your teacher how to identify a true pseudo-stratification from that of the pseudo-stratified, a true stratification from the pseudo-stratification. Let us come to the function of the pseudo-stratified epithelium. Now the functions of any epithelium as such is there. It is the protection, okay, of the underneath tissue, whatsoever tissue which is the connective tissue or any other tissue which are lying deep to the epithelium, to which it is to the lumen of which it is lining or covering, that is to be protected. And then second function will be that secretion of the goblet, mucus through the goblet cell. So keep it moist. Keep the surface of the epithelium moist. Okay, epithelium. But then question comes, why there is a pseudo-stratification? Okay, Why not a frank, simple, columnar, ciliated or non-ciliated, or why not it is having stratification? Why pseudostratification? The reason is that in the pseudostratification, the cells, some of the cells they grow very fast so as that they compress the neighboring cells and don't allow them to grow till the surface, because they are so rapidly developing that the intermediate cells, which it is squeezed between the two columnar cells, so it cannot come right up to that. And this is a mechanism. Pseudostratification is something like similar to the stratification, okay, because here the thickness of the epithelium is little more than the simple epithelium, okay, where the cells they, okay, with the goblet cell will try to protect in a much better way than if it would have been only simple. If it would have been only simple, the pseudostratified is more efficient in protection of the underneath ascum, and which is added by the mucus secretion by that of the goblet cell. Thank you very much for watching this video on the pseudostratified epithelium.